Right, so I've been digging into premium bonds, and they're absolutely wild. What I found, like, I didn't know. I knew that they were potentially not a good place to park your money, but I didn't know how bad they actually were. So I got some wild stats, and then that sent me down a rabbit hole of like looking at the UK culture, where we park our money, things like that. So that's what we're going to do today. It's a solo podcast, so why not? Didn't expect it to start with one of my favourite movies, which is The Imitation Game. Would recommend anyone to go and see that, or to see it. It won't be at cinemas now. It's very old. But it's how they cracked the Enigma machine during the Second World War, which is how Nazi Germany were communicating with each other. And I think it's regarded as like one of the first computers. So yeah, this is where the story starts. So in 1956, Britain was broke. A guy called Harold Macmillan launches premium bonds, and it's all based on a random number machine, and that machine is called ERNIE. And the guy who built ERNIE also built Colossus, which is part of the movie, the Enigma machine, in Bletchley Park. So it was approved, premium bonds, 1956. People like Harold Wilson called it squalid raffle. I'd never heard of that when I heard it. Church leaders warned against Britain becoming a nation of gamblers. Arguably, we kind of are that now. But on day one, £5 million worth of premium bonds were bought. Today, I hate to say this, and I didn't know this, it's the UK's most popular saving product. Let me repeat that. It's the UK's most popular saving product. And I put this out on X, and I was like, what the fuck, guys? What's going on here? And someone replied, like, they'd Googled how to buy, and the second thing there was premium bonds. And it's honestly baffling. So 23 million people hold £135 billion worth in premium bonds. That's more than 4 in 10 UK adults holding 135 billion, not million, billion in premium bonds. So first mad stat, well, that was a mad stat, but the first actual mad stat. So a Freedom of Information request revealed that 14.3 million of the 23 million holders of premium bonds, so nearly 2/3, have never won a prize. Not £25, nothing ever. Which, this was the first thing that I came across. And I was like, what? Surely this is wrong. Like, I've been told to put money in premium bonds before when I was a kid and growing up. Thankfully, never done it. But it goes on and gets worse. So, and the wins go to the already wealthy. This is the thing that really surprised me. The average holding of a prize winner is around £23,400. So the average holding overall with premium bonds is £5,400. And 94% of £1 million jackpot winners held over £10,000 in bonds. The dream is real. It's just mostly reserved for the people who already have the money. And I mean, this sounds like our current system, to be honest. But wait till I didn't realise where this money went, and we're going to find out. So the average wait to win anything at all is 3.5 years. But even winning is losing, so bear with me. I'm going to have to go into this bit. So your pounds are safe. Your purchasing power is not. As many people listening to this podcast will know, if you're just holding pounds, then your purchasing power is, over time, will decline, and you're not doing anything with those pounds. So £1,000 put into premium bonds in, say, 2000, you never win. It's still £1,000 on screen, but it buys what, £510 bought then. So roughly half of its purchasing power has gone, which is wild. Whereas this is supposed to be the top savings product for the UK, and it's the most widely used. So hundreds of thousands of original bonds from 1956 launch are still in the draw today. So £100 from the first draw still obviously says £100, but 96% of its purchasing power has lost. So that £100 is actually worth about £4 today, if you went out and spent that. So it's literally just sitting there and people aren't winning. This is the wild thing. They've just got it in their account, and if you're just not winning, so you might as well just park it in your bank account and get a crappy interest rate. So premium bonds is lent out straight to the government, of course. So they're getting £135 billion worth of the cheapest borrowing the state has. It's the cheapest borrowing the state has, which is mental, and it's paid for in interest. It's not paid for in interest at all, but in lottery tickets. And unfortunately, it's like the feeling of safety. Like, so many people told me, and I know others, to park your money in premium bonds. They're a good place to do it. They're not, which is what I'm finding out. But I couldn't believe the size and the amount of money. What did I say? £135 billion is parked in premium bonds. And that's of people's money, day-to-day people. Imagine if they just parked that in something else. Let's take Bitcoin out of the equation for now. Imagine if they just parked that in the S&P 500. What the difference would be over that period of time. How much wealthier the UK, these people that are parking it in bonds, would be from the back of this, because they're clearly not winning unless you're putting in 25 to 50 grand into the premium bonds. And then that obviously led me down the path of looking at, okay, well, how much money is just sitting about in the UK in cash, not invested, because we've got such a culture, a mentality of just saving is best. Like, a lot of people grew up with piggy banks and saving your money in there, rather than the culture of, oh, you should be investing this, making it work for you. So this is what I discovered. UK households hold over 1.9 trillion in cash deposits. So that's from the Bank of England. But that's everything. That's like throwing in current accounts, like the rent, emergency funds. So like, you can't really count all that because people need short-term money. So strip all of that out, and let's be generous. So Barclays Bank did exactly this. So they took the FCA's data, set aside a full 6 months emergency fund for every person, excluded all the day-to-day money, and found what was left. So 15 million UK adults holding over 610 billion of long-term cash with no job to do on it. So it's just sitting there, long-term cash, that isn't being used for bills, emergency funds, taking all that. Right, and here's the kicker, I guess. Like, it's growing. This number is growing. Like, the pile grew over 30% between 2022 and 2024. That was when interest rates rose. Britain's response wasn't to invest. It was to park more. So, the ISA number. This is another, honestly, this has sent me down such a rabbit hole. I'm so excited to just get it off my chest. So the ISA numbers show the same instinct. So when rates rose, annual cash ISA deposits more than doubled. So they went from 31 billion to nearly 70 billion, whilst stocks and shares ISA investing actually fell. So given the choice, Britain, the nation, chose to park more cash rather than invest that money. So let's do the maths on this. So even at today's relatively low, tame, I guess, CPI number, which is around about 2.6, that 610 billion loses around $16 billion pounds, not dollars, sorry, of purchasing power every single year. So 16 billion pounds evaporated annually. And it doesn't appear on a single bank statement, no red numbers, no losses to report. And that's unfortunately the trick. We have a culture of saving rather than investing. I don't know how we actually change this. Because if you look at I then compared us to different countries as well. Just 8% of UK adults hold equities or funds outside a pension. 8%, that was a bit disheartening for when I saw that. And it's the lowest in the entire G7. Then you compare it to 33% of Americans. So 8% versus 33%. So on the broadest measure, roughly 6 in 10 American adults own stocks. So it's a bit disheartening that when you actually dig into these numbers of where we park our money as a or where the UK parks its money as a nation, and money, the pound, for many people is seen as the safest place to park and keep your wealth, because it evaporates slowly over time. So you don't notice it as much. And then you get annoyed that prices are going up of things. But that's how the system is designed. And cash is the only place where you're guaranteed to lose that purchasing power. And we've just got this aversion to investing. And unfortunately that's the culture that we see in the UK. And I guess this is why I talk about Bitcoin so much, but it's really nice to dive into some of the problems rather than me just come on and be oh, Bitcoin's this, Bitcoin's that, and have our guests on who have been absolutely unbelievable. But it's also good to just highlight the problems that we actually are up against, because I didn't realize that premium bonds were the most used savings vehicle, product, whatever you want to call it, scam if you want to call it that, in the UK. What did I say the numbers were? 135 billion parked there, just sitting in premium bonds. And it just made me a little bit disheartened that there's so much money there that people think, oh, I might win one day, and you're playing the lottery, and it's a government lottery where they're getting this cash, an unbelievable deal, to be able to get that. So yeah, this has been my week. Not week, I would say. I went down this rabbit hole yesterday. I was what episode should I be putting out this week? And I was like, nah, I just want to talk about this and get it off my chest and let other people know, this is what premium bonds are. This is how many people are actually investing in it. And if you're holding premium bonds, then hopefully it just makes you realize the extent of, or how unlikely you are to actually win anything in it. So I wrote an article about it as well. I'll put the link in the description. It's on the Bitcoin Collective website. You can go and check it out. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to my rant. Sorry there's been no guest this week. You've had to listen to me. But there will be another guest next week. And yeah, stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, then please go and do that. That would be very good. And yeah, appreciate everyone. Thank you.